German or a US tank? This was the question before the Swiss Federal Council in the early 1980s. At the time, the choice was to purchase a new main combat tank for the Swiss Army to replace the obsolete Panzer 68, which had been used from the 1960s until the early 2000s. As a reminder, Switzerland initially explored the possibility of domestically developing a new main battle tank called the Panzer 2000 to replace its aging fleet of Panzer 68s. However, Switzerland eventually cancelled the Panzer 2000 program before it could enter production. The primary reasons for scrapping the domestic replacement plan were the prohibitively high development and acquisition costs involved, and concerns about the limited export market potential for the Panzer 2000 outside of Switzerland itself. In 1979, the Swiss National Council decided that the successor would no longer be a Swiss development because it was too expensive. The Panzer 68's shortcomings, such as missing the target because the cannon slipped, most certainly influenced the decision. Two modern Western tanks were available for selection. The Abrams M1 from the USA and the Leopard 2 from Germany entered the evaluation process. From August 1981 to June 1982, the Swiss Army subjected the two tanks to numerous tests. This included their cannon's strength and accuracy, agility and mobility on the terrain. The shooting tests took place at the Panzer shooting range in Hinterhain, in the canton of Graubünden. The Swiss Army also reviewed other technical information about the two 1980s tank candidates. For example, despite having heavier armor, the American candidate was slightly lighter in battle. The German candidate's was 55 tons, while this one was 54.3 tons. Both engines had 1,500 horsepower, which is the same as 150 kilowatts. But the M1 is powered by a diesel-powered gas engine, while a 12-cylinder turbo diesel powers the Leopard 2. The M1 can go faster than its German rival, 72 km per hour versus 68 km per hour. However, the Leopard 2 uses a lot less gas than the M1. It uses about 200 litres of diesel every 100 kilometres, while the M1 uses 400 litres. Both of them cost about 5 million Swiss francs each back then. They even took part in an acceleration race with a VW Golf as part of the test. The tanks could keep up with the car for the first 70 metres. There was a time when the M1 needed less than 6 seconds to dash to 30 km per hour. So why did the Leopard 2 win the Swiss tender? During the tests in Switzerland, the probability of hitting the target with the first shot for the Leopard 2 using APFSDS ammunition, targets sized 2.3s 2.3 and 4.6 2.3 meters at a distance of 1,500 meters, both on the move and from a stationary position, ranged from 83.4% to 86.3%. For heat MP ammunition, the probability of hitting with the first shot was 58.6% to 63.1%. Compared to the M1 Abrams with a 105mm gun, the Leopard 2 had a 10% higher probability of hitting with the first shot, allowing for faster target detection. According to calculations, in a possible duel between the M1 and the Leopard 2 tank, the latter would win by 2.6 to 3.8. Regarding mobility, the Leopard 2 was considered easier to handle and consumed only 5.2 litres, compared to 10.1 litres per kilometre travelled. The Leopard 2 required 55 repairs during the tests, totalling 43 hours. The Abrams required 179 repairs, totaling 229 hours in total. It was considered that the Abrams required higher crew training. The Leopard 2 emerged victorious from the duel. This was partly because a large part of the 380 tanks ordered could be built under license by the Swiss company Contenders, now Ruhig. On March 27, 1987, the first Panzer 87 Leopard, as the official designation goes, was delivered to the Swiss Army. The Swiss Army overhauled 134 tanks from 2008 to 2011. These are still in use by the Swiss Army. The Swiss Army converted 12 others into engineer or mine-clearing tanks. The Army currently keeps some Leopard 2 tanks as reserves, while the remaining tanks have been sold or decommissioned. The Army's plans for further development include using the Leopard 2 for as long as possible, probably until around 2035. The Swiss Army expects no disadvantages, as modern tanks still function the same way as the Leopard currently in service. However, a successor is questionable, as the requirements have also changed. The Swiss Army plans to procure modular tanks. Depending on the intended use, they would equip their uniform base differently. The possibilities range from troop transporters to reconnaissance vehicles to light tanks. Now, do you think the M2 Abrams can defeat Leopard 2 latest version in such a trial? Let us know in the comments. We discuss such interesting subjects every day. Please subscribe to the channel and share and like the videos.